Yo, what up? This is Owning the Huddle podcast. I am Deuce, and today, me, CeeLo, Breeze, and DT, we're going to get into some Commanders football. We're going to talk about training camp, fan appreciation day. CeeLo and Breeze going to give you a couple things that they got from it and what to look forward for. We're also going to do our spotlight players. I told them choose two, and then I forgot. Told them choose an extra one when really it was only two. But hey, we got all of us got three for you spotlight players through the training camp who did not live up to expectations or was injured last year, or even rookies that we expect to make a big impact on this upcoming season. We're also going to start breaking down the 53-man roster, and we're going to start with specials, not the whole 53 DT. And then we're going to get an ownership suite. We're going to talk about some Ron comments from his presser last week. Two questions that was asked that really kind of intrigued us that we're going to kind of talk about a little bit. And then not about us. BT say don't nobody want to talk about Colorado. But guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about Colorado on the other side of this.
Welcome to DC. You know we're down at the USA Cup. You're taking it slightly. I'm taking it slightly. Then how you throw at them, you won't be right back. Well, we gon' be right here. We gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC.
Hey, this is Hog Farmer Keith of the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. And before you listen to Owning the Huddle podcast presented by Red Zone in the Lab, the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation has put together an awesome program where you can help make a difference in helping us raise money to assist families who are faced with the everyday stresses it takes for their child to battle cancer. How do you do this? Well, we challenge you to become a 2023 Hog Farmer Ambassador. You can check out this information on our website at hogfarmerscharity.org, or you can learn more by heading to our Facebook and or Twitter feeds. The way that you do this is you click the ambassador link, you start your campaign, you set a goal, you reach your audience, and you help raise 250 or more. So who's with us on helping put a smile on the family's face while they go through these tough times?
Yo, what up? We are back. DT, that was one take on that intro. The GOAT DT. Coming up this season, we're gonna have a new segment called hashtag Game Day Drips, where Breeze is gonna, we're gonna ask fans on game day to send in their game day drips. We're gonna do players. We're gonna do coaches probably. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Ron got the ones on. We might gotta put Ron in there too, right? Fans and anybody, man. But DT, rate me 1 to 10. How was that intro?
1 to 10. I'm gonna say a 7, bro. I'm gonna say a 7.
I worked hard too, man.
Yeah, you did. I'll be a perfect score. I'll be a perfect.
The teacher don't get perfect score. Let me increase that cash out. Breeze, what's good, man?
What's good, brother? What's going on with y'all, man? We back. We back.
CeeLo, what it do, man? Where you at? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Who knows where CeeLo at, man?
Yeah,
What's
what
good,
up,
CeeLo?
I'm in somebody's basement in Southeast DC, so aka the home. So yeah, it's been lovely, man. Chilling.
Yeah, so CeeLo might be going in and out, so just bear with us. See, look, it's freezing. Look, toes. It's nasty, man.
Uh-oh.
All right, man.
The timing of that is terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, DT shirt. I mean, Breeze, that shirt job fresh.
Yeah, man. Y'all like this, man? Something I picked up
yeah.
over the weekend, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the huddle merch, man. It's dropping soon. Check this out. So training camp was bonkers. I'm still tired from it even today. It was crazy, man. So Breeze and CeeLo was there for Fan Appreciation Day. I was there. DT need to move closer. That's another story, another segment. So let's start with CeeLo. Give me a couple thoughts from training camp.
All right, so real quick, I'll just say, so I'll just let you know, that was my first training camp ever, um, for the Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team. I've been to other training camps, other teams, just because I was in the city and whatever. But that was my first training camp, so I thought it was great. Uh, we met up at a spot, Dulles Town Center. They had buses getting us over there. Thankfully, DT and a few others gave us a ride, but it was, that part was very organized. It was packed. We was there super early, like what was it, 7:30 we got there, and the line was already damn near out outside the property. So that was great to see. As a newbie, I thought it was very professional as far as the entrance. I felt like I was going to an amusement park. I mean, you had like this big, you got the big sign saying, Commanders, I think it was Commanders Park or whatever. And then you had the HTTC logo. And you go in and you see like a bunch of tents and blow up helmet and, a lot of activity that was very family friendly. And I think that's the whole point, right? It's for a lot of the fans and their children to go and just enjoy the scene, the atmosphere, and kind of just have that nice camaraderie. And that's exactly what it felt like. And then they had the pre-practice entertainment, then they had the practice itself, and then they had the post stuff. I just felt like it was just a great day overall. Obviously, the only downfall, it was about 55 degrees outside, so you had to push through that. But it was great, man. I thought that was a great experience. Nothing negative to say about it, actually.
So Breeze, you've been to Richmond. You know what I'm saying? You've been out there Commanders Park last year. Give us some differences between those two camps and what you saw on yesterday.
Yeah, so I'm a training camp vet. I've been going to training camp pretty much every year since I was a kid. So Ashburn, Richmond,
You do Carlisle?
Carlisle, yeah. Like I've been
Nice.
everywhere. This is not an exaggeration. That may be from top to bottom the best training camp experience I've had as a fan of this team. And it's not even so much of what the team did, but like the energy from
Right.
the minute you pulled into the parking lot, like you could literally feel the energy. People lined up waiting to get in. Like CeeLo said, once you walk in, like they got the welcome signs and the marching band and welcome tents and cheerleaders, command force and ticket reps and helmets. Like they got gift bags they was giving out. Like it was from top to bottom the best experience, minus the heat, which again, way above our pay grade. We can't control that. The only thing that took it from probably being like a 10 is that I wish that they would have had like a legit like autograph session, like where they had like tables and stuff, like where everybody could just walk by. I get it was 10,000 people out there, so everybody won't get everybody, but like that was the only thing that might have made it like a little bit better. But other than that, everything was on point. Like they had food trucks out there. They had VIP sections. They had air conditioning. They had music. And this, for the first time that I've seen, we could actually walk behind the end zone to watch practice on the field. Like it was. We got bleachers now. Like it was like night and day from any experience that I probably had at training camp. Maybe 2012 and RG3 might be close, or the closest. But other than that, like it don't really compare at all to me. So everybody, all the fans that said that they were waiting for things to change to come back, are to this point holding their word. Everybody showed up. It was deep.
Nice.
Had a C. Henry moment. It ain't like we just won on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just administrative changes in a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
These administrative changes can bring all these people back and do a total 180 from what we've used to see.
Oh,
And
wait.
it's crazy. Yeah,
My bad. My bad. Not to cut you off, but keep in mind, all right, with the heat and everything, they weren't even in pads. Like you
Right.
remember, like a lot of times, fan days used to be they in pads. You hear the pads pop, they can hit a little bit. Like They're out there in jerseys and shorts,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like one of the most spirited experiences that I've had at training camp. Not to cut you off, but I just had to throw it out there.
Nah, it's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Like, and then everybody was just smiling and happy. The alumni was there. They was excited to be back after years. You got fans saying I ain't been 30 years and all this. It was it was a crazy experience, man. And I was telling somebody, like, I don't even know if this is like normal. Like, this is probably normal across most of the league. You know what I'm saying? To us, this is something totally different. But like, DT, like social media and just hearing people talk about it and like where you are in the what is it, 757 777, what is it, 757?
777.
Nasty. Like, nah though, but like down there, just being around like fans, because I know, like, down that way the fans is probably hidden, right? Like, you probably don't see them, you didn't see them as much over the last 10, 20 years or whatever. But these last couple months, have you seen more like fans starting to show out, show up, more clothes? Because one thing I noticed at camp, it seems like a lot of people was popping commander tags. Like, the shirts had the crease in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they look like brand new. What are you saying down that way?
Actually, man, on the past couple of days, it has been boosting up. I've been seeing a lot of Commander content down here in Virginia. I've seen a lot of old friends I went to school with who were Commanders fans. They starting to wear their jerseys and stuff. Seen them talk on social media down here. The excitement is starting to trickle down. Just know that, fellas, it's starting to trickle down here, and I'm just excited as well. I've seen it all over social media, hearing stories from like people who, back then used to go to the old training facility and stuff. One of my coworkers, he used to go to Carlisle. That was, he was from Northern Virginia. That's what he grew up on. And me showing him the videos and stuff last couple of days at work, and he just like, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be for us Washington fans. That was my childhood growing up. So to see him say that, it makes me realize how important it was to see the fan base finally backing up this team. And hopefully, man, these games be sold out and we see way more burgundy and gold than opposing teams.
I can't wait for that experience. All right, man. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna talk about we're gonna give you all our spotlight players. Like I said at the top, the spotlight players is someone that was injured last year, someone that didn't perform last year, or a rookie, someone we're looking forward to making an impact on this team throughout training camp and ultimately make the 53-man roster. So you're not gonna hit Jahan, you're not gonna hit Terry, you're not gonna hit all those players. So just understand what our spotlight is. I don't want nobody in the comments telling some y'all crazy, blah, 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 blah. All right. So let's go back and let's start right with DT. And what we're going to do with the coming weeks, we're going to expound more on our spotlight player. So today we're just going to give you like a general sense of why we're choosing this player. And as training camp goes on and we kind of follow them and practice day by day, each Sunday we come back, we're going to give you a little bit more about our spotlight. And ain't no changing. Ain't no changing the spotlight players. Yeah. DT, go ahead, man.
Okay, so my three spotlight players, I had to think about it overnight. And even though this person did play, at the end of the day, this person was not healthy. He has came out this week, said he wasn't feeling 100%, and he still had these great numbers down the stretch, and that's Brian Robinson. We're seeing a leaner, a Brian Robinson that's has underrated hands coming out the backfield, starting to utilize him in the passing game a little bit more under EB. So I'm expecting a big year for B Rob, especially a year removed from the gun incident. Another guy, obviously, Cole Turner. This is a person that had a great spring and summer training camp last year. The hamstring that we found out that was torn, that kind of limited him, and then he had injuries in the season. EB come over here, and we all know what one of the guys he has had, that was Travis Kelsey. So Cole Turner, he's going to have to step up and be that big wide receiver for us. Because you look at the room outside of Marcus Kemp, we really don't have guys that have the size that can flank out wide and be in isolation against these bigger corners and even smaller corners. Matchup problems for this offense. And the last guy who I'm going to be extremely high on, and that's Fadarian Mathis. Fadarian Mathis, he got hurt the first game of last year, and with this defense, as much as we have talked about the first four defensive linemen and the defensive backs this year, how deep it is, this defensive line is deep because I feel like once you take Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen out, you could put a guy like Fadarian Mathis and even Ridgeway that can make plays in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, that D, like when we do the 53 and we go over that defensive line, I think that's gonna be one of the toughest ones, man. Because I mean, like as far as just being able to contribute, not being all stars, but being able to be quality depth and contribute and like won't pass the waiver wire, like won't get through the waiver wire. I think we could get a solid 8 or 9 on that defensive line. CeeLo, who was your 3?
All right, so first I'll go with I guess smallest to largest, pause. I'll say Jared Patterson. So Jared is not a rookie, but he
like an 8-year vet, yeah.
Yeah, he a local he a local kid, went to Buffalo. Big fan favorite, easy to root for, but he got some competition right now, with C-Rod and the rest of that backfield. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. And I'm not saying it because he's definitely had a lot to make this roster. And so, but he contributed, he contributed on special teams. He tended to be. I looked it up. He was active. He was active last year. Quite a few games. So I'm just curious about what EB sees in this running back room. To add on to DT's point, I'm still struggling to find out if how B-Rob fits into this offense. I know he has the quietly good hands. I think that's important because I'm struggling to look at that running back room, and I don't know if it's as obvious as we all think it is going to be in terms of the final 53. And by the way, that 53 can kind of morph over the year, right, over the season. So you may see some guys all of a sudden not active on Sunday, and things like that. So, I'm just saying Jared Patterson for now. And then secondly, I got Jamin Davis. So again, he played last year, relatively healthy, although he was put on I think IR, or at least didn't play the last game or two. He had all season surgery, but right now he's running with the twos. Now, basically, probably because of his knee scope, and he's trying to come back slowly and trying to get back in the game or get ready for a little bit of practice. But I think it's a big year for him. They didn't bring back Cole Holcomb. Khalid Hudson is here. You got some players in that linebacker room, and although we don't use a lot of linebacker formations or formations that require the traditional linebackers, he clearly is the most talented. But he's not a lock either. I mean, he's locked to make the roster, but he's not a lock to start. He's not a lock to have a big contribution based on the other guys on that defense and how they use that personnel in terms of nickel and in terms of Viper. So I'm just curious to see how that plays out. Former first round pick, a lot of pressure. He's still taking strays from the coaching staff. And then lastly, Kashmir Allen. So he's the undrafted rookie, I think out of UCLA, right, DT?
Yep.
But yeah, man, super fast guy, special teams ace. I think he will be. I think he will push for wide receiver 4 or 5 position. I think he's that talented if used properly in this kind of Kansas City-esque offense. And so I'm curious to see how he does in terms of pushing guys like De'Ami Brown and Dax Milne and those guys. So those are my 3.
I think for me, one of my spotlight players last year was Curtis Hodges. I'm going to put him right back on that list. Of course, he got injured in training camp last year. He didn't play a lot of preseason. He made the 53-man roster originally because they see the upside, the potential that he has. to be a quality tight end. When you're looking at that slim, slender, pause, wide receiver esque looking tight ends, he fits the bill. You know, he fits the bill in the red zone to be able to go up and get the ball. So they added him to the 53, and then they put him on IR to kind of protect him. I'm looking to see. Saturday was the first time out of 3 times I went that you started to see some flashes. You know, he had a couple kick out blocks that he looked pretty good and he caught a couple passes. So I'm looking to see more of him as training camp go on. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he can stay healthy. So that was one of the guys that I have. Second is also Kashmir Allen. The same things that CeeLo said. This guy, he is like he's running 95% all the time. He comes out the locker room running. He's doing all his drills running. Like he looks like a guy that's really trying to make this team. And EB is using him. Like I've seen him in the backfield. I've seen him on jet sweeps. I've seen him on wide receiver screens. I've seen him like at that wing spot. Like I've seen him a lot of places within this offense, and of course the punt return, the special teams type thing. So I think he makes this team, and I have like tweets every day that Cashman Allen will make this team, and I really believe he'll make it. And my last guy, Sadiq Charles, man, like he's been here. I think this is his 4th year. I think this is his first time being healthy in an off season through OTAs. Now going into training camp. A couple years ago, he looked pretty good, and he got injured. So I'm looking for him to really show that he belongs in the NFL to win that left guard spot. So those are my 3. Who you got, Breeze?
So I'm gonna call an audible real quick because
Uh-oh, celebrity
I was
stuff.
no. It's not that. I was kind of rushing when I sent you my list. I don't wanna take the low hanging fruit of Chase Young and Sam Howell because it's
Okay,
like
he was rushing. We're gonna talk about that on the specials, right?
it's like right there. Yeah, we're gonna get there. That's fine. But I don't want to take the low hanging fruit that's just sitting right there. So I'm gonna make a little slight tweak to my list. But the first spotlight player I got is Quan Martin. I know he's a rookie. But I think Quan Martin is going to have a very big role on this defense, like from day one. I personally think he's going to actually start at the slot cornerback, with them rotating Forbes, St. Juice, and Kendall Fuller on the outside. I think Quan Martin will be the primary slot corner and rotate at safety and move all around the defensive backfield. So he's one of my spotlight players. Second, staying in the secondary, cousin Percy Butler. I want to see Percy started to kind of come on towards the end of last season, and I think he has a role if he can just kind of slow down a little bit. I know early last season he was just like a missile. He was coming downhill, flying past people, trying to knock people's heads off. So if he can kind of get that under control and play more control, he could definitely have a defined role on this defense. Hopefully, I know he was a fifth round pick last year, 4th round pick. So he's not necessarily a lock. He should be fairly safe, but he's not necessarily a lock to make the team. But I think he'll be good. And then last but not least, I got us some wide out, some love. So my last spotlight player, I'm gonna go with De'Ami Brown. Now I know, I get it. A lot of people have given up on De'Ami. Y'all ready to replace De'Ami. Yeah, we got Dax and we got Kaz and we got Pringle and all these people. I get it. I think De'Ami Brown is going to be unlocked somewhat by this offense. I think Eric Bieniemy is going to be able to find a role for De'Ami Brown. I think we've all kind of come to the understanding and agreement that he's not a every down receiver, but with the right role and the right usage, he showed that he can be somewhat lethal if used correctly. At least for a game. But from what I've seen, what I've heard and seen at camp, he has been looking fairly good with Sam Howell early on in camp. He did have, I think, 2 drops Saturday, which was probably his worst day of the 3-4 days so far. But I think De'Ami Brown is going to be able to compete for that 4th receiver spot and kind of find a role in that offense as a deep threat, or maybe somewhat of a using Curtis as a gadget guy, and De'Ami can kind of slide up a little bit and have a little higher usage in the offense. So those are my 3 spotlight guys.
So after this, We're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss. We're gonna talk about a 53-man roster. And we're gonna go over specials, right? Specials, which is kicker, punter, long snappers that's still on the team, right? Specialists. All right. What I miss? Kick returner, punt returner. Those
Messing the whole thing.
no, it's not the whole team.
That's the whole thing.
It's not the whole team. All right, man. After this, man, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the 53 and the specials.
Hi, I'm Christian Miles, native Washingtonian and real estate agent servicing the Washington metropolitan area. I started my career as an investor and later transitioned to the residential side. I really wanted to leave the investor side because I wanted to connect with people. Building relationships is important to me. I understand the buying and selling process can be challenging. I get it. I've been there. I'm a mom, wife, friend, and neighbor. I absolutely love helping families and connecting with people. Going through the home buying and selling process is stressful enough. When working with me, I make it fun. As a realtor, I think it's important to be able to connect with you. Every detail is important, no matter how small. Let me take care of the heavy lifting while you focus on the joys of finding a new home. Something I live by, people may not remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. With me, it's an experience.
All right, specials, 53-man roster. Kicker, DT, who you got? Oh my, that's bad. Like if we just can't come straight out and say who the kicker is, yeah.
No,
And look, we can do mystery too. Like we can do a mystery player when we do these.
there is a reason why I blew air. Because this man brung a kicking competition, right? But he's still gonna go with Joey Slye. I promise you, he's gonna go with Joey Slye.
I mean, just because he bought the competition doesn't mean the competition's gonna win out, though. You still gotta win.
Last time I checked, I was talking Breeze.
My apologies, Mr. Ricks. I apologize.
Mr. Ricks is crazy.
Joey Slye is gonna be the kicker. The main reason why I still think he's gonna be a kicker is I did some digging up on Bagley, and the one weakness I see in Bagley's game is kickoffs. He's not really a good kickoff person, and when it comes to that, you don't want to tilt the games too much to the special teams, especially if they get a good return or we have a penalty. Slye has been pretty consistent on special teams when it comes to kickoffs, but when it comes to like extra points and things like that's where he gets them at. But I kind of value the positioning of the field a little bit more than others, just like when it comes to punting. So I'm gonna take Joey Slye because he has that advantage.
All right. Punter.
Trust Way.
Kick returner. This is why I think this could be some little differences. Kick returner.
Kick return. I'm gonna say Pringle / Casimir.
Gotta be
You
one,
almost show me your water?
Huh?
Did you almost
What you
show me
say,
your
yeah?
water when he said that? Like your face lit up when he said that.
I ain't expect Pringle. All right, so but you gotta be one of them though.
I think Allen will be the main one.
Oh, in this
I'm
kick
just
return.
thinking, intentionally you have two guys that can possibly do it in case of injury.
Yeah, but we can't have 54 people on the roster. Yeah.
That's okay. There we go.
You gonna try to get all 53 on this
I'm about to
joint?
say,
Punt return.
Punt return, Allen.
Long snapper.
Me.
And specialist.
Like kickoff specialist?
Like the special teamer.
Special teamer specialist.
Like the all-pro.
Like
Reeves.
Revo. I mean, do we all say Revo? Do we think anybody else like Holmes or Percy?
Maybe Percy, but I'll go with Revo.
I put Troy Apke because he ain't doing that. He ain't getting on the field. He ain't getting on defense at all.
See, that's the problem. You drinking that Southeast water.
Seriously, he's going to make the team, and he's going to be a up back or something.
Up back is crazy. He's not making the team.
What is
if he makes this team as an up, you know what? Nope. It's a new day.
All the fans leaving again.
They love Trap.
That dude, man.
Hey,
all right,
was
go ahead.
Was he the one that was getting Gibby was defending?
He got an interception on Saturday.
Yeah, but I kept hearing about a fan was talking bad about a player or something, and when I was listening to a certain podcast, it kind of led to me realizing that it was Aki that they were talking about. And Gibby,
bro, look, so Thursday and Friday, it didn't happen Saturday because everybody was super excited. But every time he came out, when he came out Thursday, you heard whispers. He's still on the team. Friday, a dude beside me looked to me. He was like, "He's still on the team." Lie to you not, bro. Both days.
The only reason I ain't say Reeves,
he's out Reed down.
Reeves, because Reeves actually play defense sometimes. He's not really like a specialist, you know what I'm saying? Like he actually plays sometimes.
In the field otherwise.
As opposed to Trap.
I thought he was trolling.
He's serious.
Troy Apke didn't see a snap on defense last year. Not one snap.
Last time he played was like 2020.
Yeah, he wasn't even on the team most of the year last year. He was like on practice squad and
anyway.
Okay, we're going straight to CeeLo. Let's start from that side. Who's specialist, CeeLo?
Yeah, that's it. But I got Slide. You know what? You know how kickers are, man. You know, kickers gonna leave. They go up and down. I think Slide bounce back. But
all right, so what you think about the competition? So Friday, they both was 4 for 4. Yeah, Friday. So what you think about it on Saturday?
I couldn't tell from our angle, but did Slide?
Slide missed the first one. He looked like he missed the first.
I feel like Slide missed that first kick, and he made the other ones as they kept moving towards like the center and into the left, and back. I still think it's gonna be Slide, just because of DT's point. He always kicks. He always gets it out the end zone, make it a touchback. That's a big deal in football.
And we're all with Way, right? Like that's no.
Yeah, Way is easy. I have Antonio Gibson being a kick returner. You know, I felt like I looked back in his stats. He averaged like 14 yards of return or something crazy. You know, which is and he actually got opportunity. You know, most times, like I just said, to kick it out of the end zone. He got a lot of opportunities to actually return it in the field. So I feel like he's pretty good when given the opportunity to just you know. I know he's gonna be really valuable in the offense, so maybe they won't do that. But that's my like kind of stretch. And then punt returner is going to be probably Kashmir Island. That's my guess. We know Dax Mill will not be making the team.
I think
Troy Apke is gonna make it, but Dax Mill.
Okay. Exactly.
No, hold on. I need that to be official. Hold on. So who's your special teams specialist?
I'm going with Trap.
He wasn't even on the game day rosters. Like he
gonna make it. They may kick him off on week that don't count though. He may get bounced to practice squad week 3, but he's gonna make the initial 53.
Where are we in the recording? 33 minutes. We're clipping this.
Trap.
CeeLo about to get the whole podcast camp.
Trap.
Oh no, I'm gonna blank that jump. I'm like, oh yeah, He was in Southeast. That Jones was messing
I'm
up.
gonna start throwing
He
traffic
did
like
say-
randomly as we talk.
Apke. All right, man. For me, I got Sly Wade. The same point, like the dude can't kick. Like he's one of the worst kickers in touchbacks last year. So I just don't know. And he struggled kicking deep too. I think that's where he was worse, like past 50 yards. He was just he was horrific. Way, of course. I also have Gibby. I think they're gonna want to get the ball in Gibby hands as much as possible with him in open space. And I think kick return also helps that to kind of get him the ball in open space. Kashmir Allen, I think he'll be the punt returner. Cheeseman, of course, and Revo. All right, Breeze. So I think you Breeze.
This is nasty work making me go last because you know why you made me go last, and that's fine. So let's just address it real quick. So when I sent backstory, right? I'm just getting over being sick, and I've been outside in 90+ degree weather for 2 days straight. So I'm a little tired, right? So I'm driving. Don't text and drive, but I'm driving, and I'm sending Deuce this message for the show prep. And for my long snapper, and I knew it wasn't right when I said it, but it's the only name I could think of. I said Nick Sundberg. Now, I knew it wasn't right, but Cameron Cheeseman just would not formulate at the time. So Cheeseman is going to be the long snapper on the 53 man roster.
Bring back Sunbird.
Players mess up. Players mess up. It's okay. I made him.
I mean, I don't know if Aki can make the team by not playing that last year. Maybe Sunberg can too.
Listen. To CeeLo's
I'd
point,
rather Sunberg anyway.
to CeeLo's point, Troy Apke's interception on Saturday was the most Troy Apke interception ever. It was a pass that was overthrown by like 15 yards, and he just with his 4.3 speed ran over there because nobody else was in the area, and he just like fair caught it. Neither here nor there. Interception's an interception, I guess. So as far as kicker goes, go back to my list. I think Joey Sly is going to be the initial kicker. I, however, do not think he'll finish the season as the kicker, but that's something we can talk about at a later date. Like Deuce said, I feel like Bagley to me, his trajectory on longer kicks looked weird. Like remember, not necessarily Chris Blewett bad, but like it seemed like his trajectory was like super low on a lot of his kicks. To me, from my angle. Maybe I might be tripping. I don't know.
Blewett got to change his name if he want to make an NFL roster. You know,
that's dead. His NFL dreams are over. Trustway is going to be the punter. Like let's be real. I also had Antonio Gibson as the kick returner. For the same reason that everybody else already listed. And he himself, when they asked him what his role was going to be, he said more of a third down back, which means he's offensively his usage is going to be probably cut down a little bit, which means he can to get the ball in his hands more often. You can use him as a return man. I also have Cass Allen as a punt returner. Which we'll see how that plays out in preseason once he's actually getting live reps, but all signs point to him kind of being the lead person in that. I think Jahan Dotson is actually a dark horse candidate for that position, though. And then Jeremy All-Pro Revo is going to be the specialist. Like, I don't know what CeeLo talking about, but I'm going to go with the All-Pro from last season as a special teams player.
that's nasty, CeeLo.
Trap.
There you go, man. Let me ask you something, DC. Do you think Pringle makes do you think between Pringle and Allen, it depends on special teams who makes the roster? Or do you think both of them make the cut?
I think it's on special teams and who's, probably a better wide receiver for that other spot. Like, to me, and we'll talk about another day, I feel like the top four are locked. I think the last two spots are going to be interesting.
Yeah. Because I think Kemp or Pringle makes the team, but I think Kemp can clear waivers. Um, I'm not sure if Pringle can, but again, he was available last week though, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he will. All right, man. Ownership suite. We're going to talk about Ron Rivera and a couple questions he was asked last week in his presser concerning football operations and him being the focal point, or the one that's always out in front answering the questions that's not football related. So we're going to look at both of those. First, we're going to talk about the football operations.
That things were kind of on hold until the ownership situation came to be. What's the sort of, I know this all just happened, but what's sort of the status now with moving forward with whatever business you had, including extensions possibly for players?
Right. Well, the biggest thing is, we've had an opportunity to meet, myself with Mr. Harrison. More so than anything else, we really discussed philosophy, mine and what his and the ownership group was going to be about supporting us and being there for us, trying to give us the tools that we need to go out and play good football and winning football. That was probably the thing that I really appreciated was having that conversation and just hearing, their commitment to trying to do the best they can to bring back to this area, a sense of pride in this organization. And that was probably one of the really good things that I really appreciated in our first conversation. And then, we plan to have more conversations. We talked about the more intricate things of our job, and that would be, as you mentioned, some of the extensions, some of the titles, about players, the future, all that kind of stuff is still conversations that we still need to have. I mean, there's still a lot of work to do, but obviously the thing that was stressed to me from Mr. Harris and some of his other partners was this is about, job one, and that's putting together a winning football team.
See Henry. See Henry. Come on, see Henry. Come on, see Henry. Come on, see
You
Henry.
slipping, man. Told y'all I'm still tired, man. Told y'all I'm still tired, man.
Get to the lab in a couple of weeks.
So DT, we'll start with DT. What do you think about those comments from Ron and those, like, do you think it was more to the conversation that Josh Harris had with him? Because first thing he said was philosophy. They talked about philosophy, and it ain't about the business side. It was about the football.
It could be more to it, but I think the main point of the matter is he was letting Ron know they have his back. Um, I think, it's obvious we know what Ron had to deal with for the first 3 years that he got here. And, I think when he said the main focus is winning, I think it's like, it's just telling you, like, hey, I got everything else. I got my broom. Let me try to sweep this up. You worry about winning. Then we can come back and meet again. So I think that's the most fresh, worthy, and reassuring thing for Ron right now, because he now has somebody that is willing to try to take all the weight off of him, because Ron tried to play like five hats, and we really needed him to be the head coach. Like, you get what I'm saying? And I think that's why this fan base has had this, dividing conversation when it comes to the makeup of this team. It's like, well, we're a talented team, but we keep winning 7 to 8 games. Like, why are we not getting over the hump? Obviously, we know about the quarterback position, but then we could talk about the makeup of the offensive line. We're not investing in offensive line. Could be dealing with the other guy. He was holding money, doing other stuff. Like, who knows what's been going on? Like, how? But for what Ron has done, we keep having these conversations. For what Ron has done for this organization, we have to give him his flowers, because I don't think there have been nobody who could have done the same things under the last regime.
So CeeLo was the one I wanted to play this clip, and I think he has a total different view than he has. So we're gonna let CeeLo go.
I kind of do agree, though. I think it wasn't a very detailed meeting. He was probably like, hey, just like anybody's boss. I'm not sure if y'all haven't been through this experience. You get a new boss, walk in and introduce themselves and just kind of talk about their philosophy and how they, who they are as a person. They'll ask you about yourself and what do you think, and how do you go about your job. I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it went. And they're gonna talk a little bit more. I don't think Ron is gonna get everything he's asking for, if that makes sense. Like, I think he's gonna let Ron be a coach and focus on coaching, like to DT's point. Don't worry about the other stuff. We got you. But go coach football. You put this team together. You've had, you got normal courses of business. Guys get injured, go back and forth, and go claim other guys. But no, you may not get an extension for Cam Curl. No, you may not get extension for Chase Young or for Montez Sweat. I'm not sure that's what we want to do. I don't know what we're going to do. So let's play football and let's see what happens throughout the course of the season. Let's say we're 3-3, right? And based on how we're looking on offense, defense, special teams, maybe Josh can be like, let's just play this out, because I don't know if I want to be beholden to, a massive contract for Montez Sweat, because I don't know if that's really what the next coach and staff and blah, blah, blah. So I think he's not guaranteeing Ron anything. He's basically saying, Ron, do your job. We're going to get rid of all that other crap, and let's see how you roll and rock with what you've been doing for the last 3 years. This is your team. So go and execute, and I got you from here on out in terms of the other stuff. That's what I think the meeting is pretty much about, and kind of being soft on the commitment to like building the roster, because they don't know if they want to be with Ron beyond this year. So that's how I look at it.
What about you, Breeze?
First thing, just hearing that clip, it's still kind of hitting me that Dan Snyder's not our owner anymore. But
Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just kind of put a little smile on my face. But no, I kind of agree with CeeLo for the most part. I think when he talks about having a meeting about philosophy, I think in large part it's like, I'm an owner of this franchise. I am an owner of this franchise. Like, you're the head football coach, and I need you to coach football right now. Like, there's going to be a chain of command. Like, the GM will be the GM, the football coach will be the football coach, and so forth and so on. I don't need you to do 17 jobs. I need you to do this to the best of your abilities. You can isolate 2 or 3 guys that you may want to pay, and we'll kind of make them a priority, but not necessarily guaranteeing you that they're going to get paid. And like to see those points, kind of let it play out and see how it plays out. Because we don't know, like you said, we may be 3-7 or something like that, and they kind of, okay, this ain't really working out. Now we done paid this person, and that person, and he ain't finna be here next year. So now we, what I mean. So I think I kind of agree with that as far as the initial philosophy conversation.
All right, let's go to the second clip.
Somebody who's had to be the face for so long, the last 4 years, I just wonder if you ever thought about what would it be like if I could just coach the team.
I said every time I came in and had to answer your questions that weren't football related, what would it be like just talking football? And that's what's exciting about it for me personally. Last few years I honestly felt more like a manager, trying to manage things and stuff like that. And try to keep everybody on task and on focus in terms of the game. But the last, obviously, the spring I thought was really good. It really was, because it really was about putting the football team together, knowing that the inevitable in terms of the ownership change was happening, and so that we would be ready to go when it did happen. And so that's really been the focus as of late for us.
So what do we think about that? CeeLo, we'll start with you.
So here's my thing, right? What Ron was going through was crazy, and I agree with him to an extent. I said this in the chat, and I'll say it here. Ron getting paid $8 million a year. I repeat, Ron's getting paid $8 million a year. Pardon the pun, but he's not coming here to go and ask, go and cure cancer or some kind of infectious disease. He's coming here to coach a football team, right? Um, Asking some, answering some media questions. That's, hey, what happened 15 years ago is difficult, but it's not like impossible. So we all dealt with the pandemic back in 2020, just like Ron did. But Ron has some other things going on as far as his personal, life, as far as you know, uh, what happened with his battle with cancer, which is crazy to even think about while coaching a football team. So I understand what he's saying, but the previous guy wasn't out there hiking the ball. He wasn't out there catching balls. He wasn't out there playing quarterback carousel. He wasn't out there, going with the same offensive coordinator for no reason other than because you knew his dad, right? Like there's things that he controlled, right? And so I get it. It's a horrible situation in DC, and that's in terms of what was going on in that office or in that building. But the things within his control is kind of where I put blame on Ron with. So I'm fine with him kicking the guy that just left down while he's down. Don't care. I'm with you. I'll kick him too if you want me to. But at the same time, when it comes to just football team and his personal accountability is where I kind of like, all right, Ron, I got you. It was tough, but bro, like you kind of made his bed to an extent. So there's kind of a balance there. Is kind of what I'm saying. But totally appreciate the situation is rare, and I just hope that going forward, you just focus on football like he's trying to say in that clip.
So what about you, DT? It's all about football from around here on out. So what type of, just giving him that and Josh Harris say, hey, look, just focus on football. How long is that leash?
To be honest, y'all, like I think logically we would have to say this year, but I don't know because I'm not Josh Harris. Like, and then like to CeeLo's point, it's like you look at when Ron got here and under previous ownership, right? Nobody from other times when we had head coaches, nobody else has had that responsibility of everything else of the team, probably since Joe Gibbs to an extent. Now, when you look at some of the things that happened that previous year, the stuff that happened in that 2019 and so forth season, all that stuff came and it just brought a huge domino effect. And then Ron had to put his domino effect on it too. So I just want y'all to think about this. Since we are talking about football, let's talk about some of the things that has happened. If previous owner does not interfere with the 2019 draft and we draft Brian Burns instead of rest in peace Dwayne Haskins, get an edge rusher and you don't have to worry about getting Chase Young because you feel like your defense is already there. And you could possibly go get a quarterback. Or even so then, that 2021 year, you don't win the division, you tank, and you try to get your quarterback. Like it's like
Or you don't beat Miami that one game. But go ahead.
right. Yeah, it's these certain things that we look at and how we like things being managed, and we just look at this football team now like we're trying to figure out like okay we're talking about football but it's still kind of hard to talk about football in a sense because you keep thinking about all the things that has happened so far and now you're looking at Ron. It's like Ron, you don't win 10 games in a playoff game, you cook. Like that's the tough reality we in. And I would have to say man, like look, this is the only year we can focus on football. But then come that Black Monday is going to be interesting. If either we're prepping for a playoff game or Ron's packing his bags and we're going to see a whole new GM and head coach coming in DC.
What you got, Breeze?
I mean, CeeLo and DT cooking. I pretty much agree. Like, I get it. Ron is at peace and is incredibly happy with not having to answer for the past stuff that was out of his control. But with that being said, there's a decent sized list of things that have gone wrong, for lack of a better term, that are completely within his control and 100% under his jurisdiction, as his roles defines. So yeah, I'm all for, like CeeLo said, I'll throw a size 13 at the old dude too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but but you know what I mean? But yeah, like it's for lack of a better term, like put up or shut up. I think this everybody's being evaluated this year, and if you don't like everybody, we in the honeymoon period right now. Everybody's happy, we all rejoicing, we all unified. If stuff starts going downhill, somebody here's gonna have to roll for that eventually, and he at the top of the totem pole right now. So
And this is the thing that hurts me the most, especially when we talk in spaces and we look at how the media sees us. For as talented as this team is, outside of O line, everybody is projecting us either like to be one of the worst teams this coming year.
right.
And which is wild to me because now I'm in a sense it's like ever since 2020, 2021, I felt like the Eagles surpassed us. Like they're already at the top of the whole conference. Now I'm starting to get a feeling the New York Giants might surpass us. And they're not even as talented as deep as us in other spots. And that's the thing that's like, it's bothering me. It's like it just has to lead to one question, and that's truly coaching and getting the quarterback position right. Like that's the end of the day. That's literally what we've been dealing with. Like you got Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and now as much jokes and stuff we make about the kid now, Daniel Jones, he's in prime to maybe do another year of success, and we still trying to search for that guy, and we're still trying to figure out can we win these games that we're supposed to win.
Yep.
Yep.
Black Monday gonna be real tough.
I'll say this. Don't think for a second that Josh, just because this is his first NFL team, that Josh ain't already know everything about this team. He went back and checked everything that Ron's done. He's checked everything that Jason's done. He's checked. He knows what the roster looks like. He knows how much people make, how much our salary cap looks like during his whole financial review. He knows everything. All he's giving Ron is like, hey, I got you. Go coach football. So don't think he's sitting here like a dummy, like waiting to figure out. No, he knows everything that's already gone on. It's about I'm giving you a fair shake. Go show your cards. Go do your thing.
Yeah, because it's like now what he has seen as far as digits is concerned. Now he needs to put it to faces, right? He needs to see what it looks like, how they really operate. If it's something that someone that can kind of line up to what he wants to do in the future. Like he just need to know if they're going to fit what he's looking for, moving forward. So yeah, most definitely he ain't going to that joint not knowing, like he know Chase Young, and Curtis Samuel and Curl. He already knew they up for extensions. You know what I'm saying? He probably already made a decision if he's going to do it on that, prior to like the beginning of the year on that. So that's something we definitely gonna look forward to. All right, so before we go. Not about us. Colorado, right? It looks like the Pac-12 may be in trouble. I don't know what's going to happen to the Pac-12, but Colorado is moving. So we're gonna go to CeeLo because I don't know too much about it, but I just know the Pac-12 is in trouble just reading on it. So CeeLo, Colorado. What the Big Ten, right? That's what Colorado is going to. What next year?
Yeah,
Big 12.
Big 12. Big 12.
Yeah, going to Big 12. Yeah, just talking about all the things that's happened with Colorado since Dion got hired. It's like crazy. They already sold out season tickets. Like, he's already recruited some of the best, had some of the best incoming draft or recruits in all of college football. He's trying to get some big, assistant coaches on his staff. I can't think who he just announced going to be adding to us. He's trying to get added to his staff right now, and then moving to the Big 12. It's a crazy offseason for a program that none of us was thinking about this time last year. Like none of us. Like we were like, who? For the most part. So I just think it's cool, that what one man is doing, who's barely coached, football at this level, has all of a sudden his cachet has kind of driven that program from nothing to like something we talk about like in barbershops and stuff like that. So I think it's cool. That's all.
What you got, Breeze?
I mean, it's the Dion effect, bro. Like CeeLo said, this time last year, nobody was thinking about Colorado.
Nobody.
Like, the Pac-12 wasn't even thinking about Colorado last year. Like they went 1-11 last year. You know what I mean? Like prior to him going to Jackson State, let's be real, nobody was thinking about Jackson State football. Even the people who really follow HBCU football weren't really thinking about
not even Jackson State.
You know what I mean? Like, and I got into it with people from Jackson State, like, no, we got this proud. Okay, I get it. Like, y'all are proud of it, but nobody outside of Jackson, Mississippi, really cared about Jackson State University football. Like this, you know what I mean? And we knew. Yeah, I mean, we knew that with him going to Colorado, we knew a lot of that was going to follow the notoriety, it was going to follow him for the most part and not stay in Jackson. And I mean, he's flipped the entire program, roster, coaching staff, facilities. He's moving on to the Big 12, which I feel like would be a better thing, a better conference for the team that he's building. I feel like that'll be a better style of football for them. Because it's a football move. Football is a money sport, so it's a football move. Ain't nobody thinking about Colorado basketball either. But yeah, I think it'll be a solid move. It is what it is, man. When was the last time you talked about going to Colorado?
I mean, we go on the second week of the year, though. I mean, that's for the Broncos game.
That's recent. That's new, and it's for the Commanders. But
I've been there for work.
They sent you.
Hey, look! I got a story though, right? I got a story.
Pat Shermer, that's what it was. Pat Shermer.
Oh yeah, he's the OC. So look, we went because DT, you don't want to talk about Colorado anyway, right?
I was about to roast him, but go ahead.
About to roast him? Oh man, I kind of want to hear the roast.
He's like,
yeah.
I can't say Michigan right now, DT. They in a bad place.
Wait, hold up. Is anybody leaving the Big 12, or they just adding to it? I know.
I think they adding to it because so the Pac-12 lost what? USC and UCLA, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Like the Big 12 is deep, bro. Like West Virginia, Iowa State, Kansas, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Baylor, Houston, Texas, TCU. He's trying to get in Texas recruits. Texas Tech, BYU, Cincinnati, and UCF. Come on, man. I see the plan.
UCF is in the Big 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long story.
DT. I just turned the oven on, man. It's on 325, man.
Turn up to 400 because I'm sick and tired.
Oh, man.
I'm so tired of Colorado this offseason, bro. Like, it's like Colorado is really about to be the Dallas Cowboys of college football. And that title belonged to my Buckeyes. Like, that's crazy. Like, when it comes to this Big 12
sure thing, Notre Dame, no DT. Notre Dame kind of like that. And they ain't done nothing in like 50 years.
That's fair. But, like, man, I'm just tired of Colorado talk. But when it comes to them going to the Big 12, it made too much sense to go back to their conference. That's where they're originally from. Them being the Pac-12, like, they were being overmatched. Won't really recruiting well anyway. But college football is really changing, man. Like it's really about to be two big conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten. Like USC, UCLA joined the conference, Big Ten conference next year. Then you got Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC.
That's what it was.
So like, and then I'll even look out for teams like Washington, Oregon, maybe even Florida State, Clemson. They might try to leave and go somewhere. So keep an eye on those teams. But look, I'm tired of Colorado. If they end up the season being 6-7, like I am going to be on Spaces, unrelentless. I love Dion, but I'm going to be cooking me some buffalo chicken this Sunday. I'm going to be cooking everybody. Like, I'm so tired of it. Keep talking about Buffalo this. Like, they're not even that good. I get, okay, they got all these transfer stuff. What you going to do if they lose like 55-26 to USC? What's going to be the excuse then? What? Like, come on, bro.
It's not even going to hurt people's feel, like, because most of the people are not real fans of the team anyway. Anybody that's really talking about 94.6% of the people talking about Colorado right now don't really care about Colorado football. They care about Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. So if you get to roast in Colorado, they won't even care. They're like, yeah, I mean, Deion's still Deion though. Like it won't. It's not like roasting the Cowboys fan where they're gonna pretend like, oh, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. Like they're going to tell you, oh no, I'm following Deion. I don't care about Colorado. I'm following Deion.
Yeah.
Everybody rocking in all them J's, all them Jack the State jackets and hats, and everybody D.I. look. All right.
Hey, what y'all think about that though? He back with Nike.
Oh, I told
Perfect
y'all from
timing,
the jump.
right?
I told y'all from the jump. The minute he signed, oh yeah, them diamond turns coming back. I already knew. I already knew what time it was. I already knew.
Oh man, that's crazy. All right, man, let's wrap it up. DT, any last comments for Colorado or Buffalo?
Just give me an 8-piece, no ranch.
CeeLo.
Go Dion.
That's so nasty, bro.
Breeze.
Prime time. That's all I got for you.
All right, man.
Prime time.
Oh my gosh. Here you go. Here's mine.
Thank you for listening to Owning the Huddle podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Red Zone in the Lab and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can download our podcast wherever you get your podcasts and visit us at redzoneinthelab.com.